welcome back to another video from HSTV. And in today's video, as you can see by the video title, we will be doing a 2-year and a bit review of Samsung's Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Hien. I'm a third year medical student here at the University of Edinburgh. And the reason I tell you that is because my prime usage with the tablet has been kind of supporting me with my student life. That includes note-taking, reading textbooks, doing video calls, that sort of thing. And obviously it supported me a lot during COVID as well. It was my first experience buying a tablet, so I don't really know what to expect, but really it's not let me down. So if you're looking for a short answer that you can get within like a minute or two of this video, then I would still highly recommend you buy the Tab S7 Plus. The whole Tab S7 series actually was a monumental kind of game changer series in the world of tablets, a real competitor to Apple's iPads. So obviously I will be trying to share my experiences and kind of good things and bad things in this video over the past 2 years that have happened. But if you're looking for a short answer, I still recommend it at the end of 2022 going into 2023. So what I don't want this video to be is like a spec review, because that's not really what this video is. I want to kind of base it more off my experiences and tell you what went well, what didn't go well, where there was a lack of something, things like that. But very quickly, really, most things have been fantastic. In terms of kind of general wear and tear, you know, the case still is fine. The keyboard works very well. The tablet itself, I haven't really felt that it's kind of got scratches or anything like that. I guess this depends on the user as well, and I like to be quite careful with my things, and I think the case has helped with that. I'm not using a screen protector, so the fact that, you know, the screen's done quite well without the screen protector, I think that's a good sign. The S Pen has also been doing really good. I've not noticed any kind of wear and tear on that either, especially the nib. I get asked this a lot, but I've not had to change the nib in the past 2 years. You can buy kind of replacement nibs if you wanted, but I haven't actually felt the need to. Let's talk battery life. So the really good thing is that I have not noticed a big difference in the way the battery drains. Now, my usage has probably been a bit more increased this year because I've got in-person lectures and I don't have a laptop, I have a PC, but I don't carry a PC around with me. So I'm having to carry my tablet around to university more. I think like if I have a 2-hour video call, at that point I would have to charge the tablet. But generally, because I don't have a lot of video calls anymore and a lot of them are in person, I basically have to charge the tablet 2 or 3 times in a week. And that does me good for like note-taking, reading textbooks, any other kind of revision or Anki cards or whatever I'm doing on my tablet. You know, that's kind of the most I have to charge it. And I think it's really convenient. I've never really been in a situation where I'm like, oh, it's run out of charging again. So I think that's a really good thing. So I'll tell you about another situation, I guess. So I had a 2-hour exam. That was all typed, and over the course of the 2 hours I didn't have to charge it at all. I had no issues with the speed, or I didn't feel like I needed a laptop or a computer, because, you know, everybody else, they brought in laptops. I didn't have a laptop, so I was like, okay, so I could borrow, or I could try out and see what potential the tablet has for me, because, you know, the Microsoft apps, they kind of uses the Android versions of them. So I was a little bit skeptical, but actually it worked really smoothly, and I thought I was quicker because of the whole touchscreen aspect as well. There was one point in particular in my exam where I actually had to draw a diagram, and everyone else, they're drawing on a piece of paper and then they're taking pictures and then they're sending over their pictures and putting it into their document. And me, on the other hand, you know, I literally just took out my S Pen, drew it kind of straight onto my document, and I felt really good. I was like, wow, this is really where the tablet excels, this multitasking and the speed and touchscreen and S Pen that you have. Altogether, it's a really good tool, especially for students. Which brings me on to the next point. Do you need a laptop or a PC type device to accompany this tablet, or is this tablet enough on its own? Is it sufficient to meet my needs at least? Well, I think I've got a mixture of an answer, because there was one time where I felt the tablet lacked, and that was during our presentation. So for this presentation, everyone brought in their laptops or whatever, and they connected HDMI cables and connected to the projector. not me on here with my tablet, obviously the tablet lacks ports, and I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but I know ports and things are more of a laptop feature. However, I don't see the harm in having a few USB ports and a HDMI port on a tablet as well. I think that would really transform, the definition of what we see a tablet as. So that was one time that I thought, and I kind of had to take in a laptop from home, or another one, rather than taking my tablet. So that was one time. And then also I had one of those laser clicky pens, and I had the little kind of plug and play USB, and I couldn't have my presentation on the tablet because, again, I didn't have a USB. So that was just a couple times where I thought a laptop is kind of necessary with the tablet. But really, all other aspects for kind of exams, note-taking, for multitasking, the battery life, everything else has worked fantastically. So I think it's like a 90 to 10% ratio of whether you need a laptop or not. Okay, I want to very briefly touch on note-taking. I know we do a lot of note-taking on this channel. I've got lots of videos on that, so feel free to watch them as well. But just a little quick update. I've not really been taking a lot of notes during my intercalation year. I've mostly just been importing lecture slides and just kind of typing up a few things on Word. Saying that, the S Pen definitely does come in handy for making diagrams and kind of things that I can put into my notes. That really helps me. So from that point of view, I'm loving it. It's really good. And Samsung Notes, it keeps getting better. We're getting lots of new updates, and on the topic of updates, actually, we're still getting security updates, UI updates, and all of that. So actually, the whole running and the up-to-dateness of the tablet is still really good. Still feels really modern and chic, and I don't feel that it's like a older model or anything like that. It seems very current. And recently I bought the S22 Ultra, and that, along with the Tab S7 Plus, makes a brilliant ecosystem, a real powerhouse for note-taking and university kind of multitasking work. Now, I know I said we wouldn't go into all of the hardware spec and all that kind of nitty-gritty stuff. However, I think it's important to mention one incident. Basically, one time the tablet ran out of charging completely, so it went to 0 and it turned off. Now, I didn't realize this because I hadn't actually used the tablet for that day or two. So when I turned it on, I was like, oh, it's not turning on, so I put it on charging. Left it on charging for a while. And after a few hours, I kind of forgot about this again. When I came back to it, it still wasn't turning on. So, I was holding the power button pressed and all that, and still wasn't turning on. So I got really worried, and I was like, okay, what's going on? Because I have a lot of stuff stored in that tablet, right? So first of all, it made me think of maybe I should start doing some backing up of my notes and things. However, Samsung Notes, sidetrack a little bit, Samsung Notes, it was available on my PC, so I wasn't too concerned. That's a good thing about using Samsung Notes. So well done to Samsung Notes. However, the tablet wasn't turning on. So I did some Google searching and found a way to do a force restart, which is apparently where you hold the power button and the volume down button together for 10 seconds or something, and it kind of reboots it. Now, I'm very happy to say that I didn't lose any of my kind of apps or my work or anything like that, and the tablet has been working absolutely fine since then. And this happened, I think, just a few weeks ago actually. So in my whole 2 years, I've had kind of one incident where I've been a little bit worried, but other than that, all very smooth, and I'm not too sure why that's happened. I did have a little bit of a Google to see if this was a common thing. Apparently sometimes when the tablet does turn off to 0 on its own, then this can happen. Again, I don't really know why. Was there a system crash or a bug or something? Has that been fixed? I am not too sure. Okay, another very popular question that I get asked is to do with heating issues, especially around the keyboard attachment area of the tablet. A lot of you guys have been complaining about this, and you'll probably see in the comments somewhere as well, me replying to the same comment again and again. But honestly, the heating issue hasn't been that bad for me, unless I've got very prolonged usage of the tablet where I'm taking notes for an hour and a half continuously. And the only thing that bothers me is if I'm having to kind of rest my palm on the tablet and I feel it being a little bit hot, but it's really not something that bothers me. I think it's almost like, you know, how our phones heat up a little bit when we use them for a while. So for me, it hasn't really been like a major issue, and I hope for you guys as well, you haven't felt it's been too bad, but do let me know down in the comments about your experience. Okay, so some of you guys have also been talking about this green tint on the display of the tablet. Now, of course, the display on the Tab S7 Plus has really been reviewed by so many people, and everyone said that it's brilliant. It's one of the best you can get in the kind of tablet iPad range, and I agree, it's fantastic. And thankfully for me, I haven't noticed a green tint on it. And now I don't know if when you say green tint, that's more like a tint on the display, or is it more kind of like what you see? I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly what the green tint means, but I've heard a lot about it, and thankfully I've not experienced it. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I've got the blue light filter on, so it kind of gives a yellowy tint, but I've done that on purpose, and I kind of like the warmer light a little bit more. So maybe that's why I've not seen the green tint, but I'm not too sure about this again. Alright everyone, well that is going to be the end of this video. Of course, if you want to watch more Tab S7 Plus content, then please go check out my playlist up here. I've done lots of videos on note-taking, multitasking, and you asked for it. So this video was really all about my experiences over the past 2 years. Do I still recommend it? 100% yes, I do. In fact, I think that it's actually more worth than the Tab S8 right now, because the prices will have gone down. So it's a really good buy, and certainly it's lasted me more than 2 years. Really happy with it, and hopefully over the next few months and few years throughout medical school it will continue to support me. And yeah, if you have any questions about the tablet, or you want to share your experiences or whatever, you can feel free to do that in the comments. And yeah, hopefully you find this useful. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.